Alright guys, today we're going to be talking about the Vanishing Rain rogue build that I created. Let's quickly go through it. Starting from the top, we're currently using the God Slayer that we found earlier. It is low level still, however, it does give us what we're looking for. If you wanted to use a regular helmet, I would highly recommend using cooldown reduction, max life, and dexterity. For the chest piece, we are looking for dexterity, max life, and resistance. I also have armor on here. We also are using the aspect that gives us armor. However, we will be just short of the 9.2 cap while we're using this. It only gives us about 8.5 where we're at. We're hoping that as we masterwork our gear and get better equipment, the armor cap will reach there, but since I'm still using some low level stuff, we're not quite up to par. On the gloves, we are looking for vulnerable damage. We have critical strike damage, dexterity, and max life. I'm using the Arrow Storm enchantment. Again, with the tempers, we're looking for chance to freeze. I like chance to freeze. It provides a lot of utility. And then we're looking for vulnerable damage. I unfortunately got ultimate damage, but we're going to replace this anyway, so that's okay. On the pants, we're looking for dexterity, max life, and resistance. As you can see, we also added another resistance with the temper. I was looking for chance to freeze, got chance to slow. Unfortunate temper, but that's okay as well. We're going to take any kind of additional CC that we can get for the staggers on the bosses, so I'll take it. We have a 20% increased critical strike damage against frozen or stunned enemies. We have the Beastfall boots. The using the cooldown restores 25 energy is really what makes this part of the build, and it's super important. On the bow, we are looking for dexterity, max life, vulnerable damage. I have not been able to roll vulnerable damage. We have crit strike damage right there, and it's getting pretty expensive to reroll. However, I did get lucky with the vulnerable temper. We have chance to do lightning damage, and the aspect is the Arrow Storm aspect as well. Now for the weapons, I will say that the other slot outside of the vulnerable damage, we don't use any of those things. We don't use traps, caltrops, invigorating strike, heart seeker, nothing like that. So the only one that really is useful to us is the lucky hit damage. And so that's what we go for on all of the weapons. Moving over to our daggers, we have a chance to do shadow damage. We're looking for dexterity, health, vulnerable, which we did get here. One invulnerable on the temper. You got critical strike. Unlucky. But we have our other Arrow Storm aspect. On the next dagger, we have dexterity, max life, vulnerable. Hit again. Unfortunately, critical strike. We're dealing 27% increased damage to stunned or knocked down enemies. This is really good because the ultimate will knock down the enemies for us. Going to the ring, we are looking for dexterity, damage, and the resistance that we're still missing. So in this case for me, it's poison resist, temper on vulnerable damage, and shadow imbue. It's exactly what we wanted. Your imbuement skills have increased potency is the aspect that we went with. For the other ring, we're looking for dexterity, damage, and our last resistance. In this case for us, it's cold. Shadow imbue lasts for 2 casts is what we were looking for, and then we wanted vulnerable, but we got critical strike. We're just going to take it for now. We also have the aspect that increases our damage to enemies who are chilled or frozen. Since the Word of Hakan is constantly applying all 3 imbuements, we will constantly be chilling and freezing enemies, so that damage is super good for us, along with the knockdown damage. Last but not least, Word of Hakan is our necklace. Your Rain of Arrows is always imbued with all imbuements and receives your Arrow Storm benefits. This is why we're using the Arrow Storm aspects on the weapon and gloves. You have a chance for a Rain of Arrows to cast twice, ultimate damage, imbuement skills. Super fun build. This is the gear setup. As you can see, we have max resistances except poison. I need to roll that a little bit higher. And the armor is not quite up to par, but with this aspect, it's just under. I have been considering trading that out for the Juggernaut aspect, increasing our evade cooldown. And in fact, for this video, let's go ahead and give that a shot. As you can see, we have plenty of armor now, more than enough. Definitely overkill. But we're just going to do it to showcase what the max armor would look like with the resistances. And then we'll go into the skill setup. Moving on to our skills. As you can see in the bar, we have Rain of Arrows, Dash, Concealment, Shadow Imbuement, Dark Shroud, and Flurry. We go into the skill tree and specializations. We're using preparation for the specialization still. In the skill tree, again, 2 filler points, 2 in sturdy, 5 in flurry, enhanced flurry, improved flurry. We have 3 in rugged, a little bit different from the last video. 3 in weapon mastery, 1 in dash, enhanced dash, and methodical dash. This is just to move around and reposition more rapidly. 1 in concealment, enhanced concealment, countering concealment. 1 in dark shroud, enhanced dark shroud, subverting dark shroud. 3 in exploit, 3 in malice. 5 points into shadow imbuement, 1 into enhanced shadow imbuement, 1 into mixed shadow imbuement, 1 point into cold imbuement, 1 into enhanced cold imbuement, 1 into blended cold imbuement, 3 into frigid finesse, 2 into chilling weight, 1 into aftermath. I personally just like this for the little bit of heal. It's not super important. You could actually change this if you wanted. It's just something that I'm playing around with. 3 in adrenaline rush, 3 in impetuous. Obviously our Rain of Arrows. This is the key to our build. So all 3 points into the Rain of Arrows abilities, and then a stack of moment, or a point into momentum. And at max stacks, you'll get 30% damage reduction, 30% maximum energy, 30% X increased energy regeneration, movement speed, and then 50% X increased damage. So all these will be very nice. It all comes together super well. The cooldowns can be found in the Dark Shroud, Shadow Imbuement, Concealment, and Dash. So after we ult and we use all of our energy, we can then use any and all of these abilities to start to gain energy back so that we can flurry. Our preparation allows the ultimate to refresh all these cooldowns. So the combination is going to look something like go invisible, use your ultimate, use your flurry, and then dash and reposition, flurry again, use your Dark Shroud to refresh your Dark Shroud stacks, flurry again, use your Shadow Imbuement, flurry again, get all of the cooldowns on the ultimate down, and then hit them with the ultimate and do the combination again. Alright guys, last but not least, let's go into the Paragon board. In our starter board, we're going to work our way up to the damage. Going to wrap back around to resilience. In our first glyph, we're going to use versatility. We will also work our way to the armor here with lawless and all of the blues around it. And then come back down, grabbing skillful and all the blues around that. Working our way up, we will then grab the no witnesses board, rotate it so that the no witness legendary node is on the left here, and the slot is on the right. We'll work our way up, following this path to ruin, and all of the blues around it. This will give us ultimate skill damage. We'll then wrap up and around to grab the no witnesses legendary node, working our way all the way up to color, getting the ultimate damage and some attack speed, and then coming to the board on the left. Now before I move on to the board to the left, we'll come back down here. We'll work our way up into knowledge, grabbing the blues here as well, grabbing the open slot and putting efficacy in there. We'll then work back up, grabbing training and the 4 blues around it, ignoring the strength on the left. We don't need that, but we do want the max life. That's pretty good. And then we work our way to the right. Now I followed this line because it has a lot of dexterity. And technically you could follow this one, but more dexterity for the rogue, the better. So going to the board on the right, we work our way up towards Imbuer and the blues around that, then into Eldritch Bounty, which is the board name. I kind of forgot that. Working our way towards the middle, ready supply with the blues, and then coming down, and we take these specific nodes in order to put fluidity there. As you can see, we want to come down to grab this dexterity. We put fluidity in. We grab dosage for the 10 dexterity. We come over to potent for 10 dexterity as well, along with imbued damage and the blues around that, which will give us increased imbued damage. We could technically drop this strength if we wanted to, but I don't really have anywhere else to put it, so we just kind of keep it there. If I find something later, I'll probably switch it out. But we take that strength over this one because this one gives 7 and this one gives 17. Now coming back to the left board from the center, we're going to grab the Tricks of the Trade board, rotate it so that Tricks of the Trade is in the middle here, with it opening into the glyph socket on the left. We follow the path down to grab Tricks of the Trade. We come back up to grab Focused, which gives us damage to elites, plus dexterity. The blues around that. And then we grab the control board, or sorry, the control glyph in the middle here. This gives us the intelligence necessary for it. We come down, grab the armor. I guess as we're doing this, we can drop the strength from over here and grab this 50 additional armor, as we know that my armor is a little bit low. However, with the aspect that we're using currently, it doesn't really matter. But everything will help in the end. And then work our way back up. And we get the cheap shot board. Rotate it so that cheap shot is on the right. And the socket is on the left here. We come up. Grab all of this dexterity and the cheap shot node. Increase the damage that we do to crowd control enemies. Then we swing left and we grab the crowd control damage again with the armor. supplement the armor and efficiency that we have. Making our way up to the socket, grabbing the devious rare node in all the blues, and then in the last socket we put canny. So this will increase our non-physical damage. This one will increase the damage that we do to chilled and frozen enemies. This one will increase our imbuement, which our ultimate is always triple imbued. And this one will increase the damage after we cast an agility skill, so our dash. And it increases our energy regeneration, which is really good to help us replenish our energy so that we could spam flurry, reduce the cooldown of the ultimate, reset the cooldown of everything else, and just continue that cycle over and over and over again. And then of course back to the beginning, the versatility gives us the non-basic and non-core skills, deal 25% increased damage. So this is the damage for our ultimate primarily. That's the Paragon boards. We'll go ahead and go into the gameplay from here. Alright guys, just like I said, to showcase the build, we're going to do a pit 61. Now I'm going to speed up the video from this point. Now I will say before we do that, that the longest part of the fight is going to be killing the boss. This is not a one-shot the boss type of build. Hopefully it'll be a little bit better as we masterwork the gear and increase its strength. However, at the moment, it does take a little bit of effort to fight the boss and effectively take them down. You'll see that clearing to the boss is super easy, super fast, and doesn't take a whole lot of effort. Now she's staggered, and we can just finish her off. Nice and easy and simple. It has some Neath Iron 61 as a fresh 100 with nothing upgraded. Absolutely beautiful. Even using 692 atoms. I hope you guys enjoy the build. I hope you guys like it. I hope you like the video. Follow, subscribe, and come back next week as we'll be doing a follow-up video once some of our gear is masterworked to really showcase this build one last time. Thank you guys for watching. Happy gaming.